Hey guys, so today we're just watching Cross video to get prepared for Piggy 2.
So Piggy Book 2 comes out literally tomorrow. Like, I'm not actually joking, tomorrow. And want to get you guys and the entire Piggy community caught up on what happened in Piggy 1 and get you guys ready for Piggy Book 2. I've spent the past 2 days working on this special video. Honestly think this is one of the best videos I've ever made, and it will get you guys up to date and tell you everything you need to know to get ready for Piggy 2 tomorrow. Because obviously you don't want to be confused about what's going on in Piggy 2. You don't want to be left out in the dust. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, if you haven't yet, do please hit that subscribe button and that like button. Like I said, I've literally spent the past 2 days working on this video, so please subscribe and like the video. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Piggy Chapter 1 begins with two main characters. Mr. P, a brilliant scientist who happens to own an entire theme park and who also happens to be a potato, and his wife, Miss P, who unfortunately is extremely sick with a terrible disease which is very quickly killing her, and who also happens to be a potato. In order to save his wife, Mr. P decides to use his brains and his immense wealth created from his theme park in order to very quickly find a cure for his wife's disease. In order to do this, Mr. P forms a special team of qualified scientists and extremely intelligent researchers to begin to find a cure to his wife's ailments. He also pretty much buys an entire hospital so that his team has a place to work. Before long, he has a potential cure sitting in front of him. Before he can give this cure to his wife though, Mr. P must first test this cure to ensure it has no harmful side effects. This is where George Piggy, Mom Piggy, Dad Piggy, and Peppa Pig herself, who is named Penny Piggy in this game due to copyright issues, come into play. Mom and Dad Piggy find out about this potential cure and the problems that Mr. P and his wife face, and in order to help out, they decide to become test volunteers and take the cure themselves in order to ensure there's no harmful side effects. They visit their local hospital where Mr. P and his research team is working, and it is there that Mr. P gives them the potion, which is just a really cool way to say medicine. Mr. P then watches the family for a bit to make sure his potion/cure does not cause any side effects, but he gets impatient and sends the family home early in order to give the potion to Miss P and save her life, which was at this point really close to, well, Mr. P then gives Miss P the potion and voila, it works. Miss P starts regaining her strength, and before long, she starts to seem normal again. Everything is perfect and fine, and this is totally a happy ending, but wait, it's not, because this potion actually and accidentally turned Miss P into a man-eating zombie monster. You see, when the Piggy family returned home, they started to go crazy. The potion had side effects. They became extremely aggressive. Their eyes turned red, and they started attacking everything and everyone they saw, including their children George and Penny Piggy. George and Penny managed to escape their household and get away from their parents, escaping into the darkness of the night. We'll come back to them in a bit. Back at the hospital, Miss P is also going crazy. Her eyes are red. She's extremely strong, and she seems to want to rip apart everyone in her line of sight. Scared and not sure what to do, Mr. P panics, and Miss P manages to escape out of the hospital and into a nearby city. Yeah, big uh-oh. Not long after, you, the player, are working as a police officer in a nearby city. You're tasked with investigating the home of George Piggy, who has been reported missing. Upon arrival to the Piggy household, you get attacked from behind by a pig wielding a baseball bat and clothing that would appear to be your grandma's old kitchen apron. You wake up inside the house, and while looking around, you start to get chased by the pig again, who at this point is revealed to be Penny Piggy herself. Except, unfortunately, she is infected and also now an evil man-eating piggy zombie herself. You manage to escape the house and decide to go back to the police station for backup. When you arrive back at the police station, you find everyone gone and the entire station destroyed and in disarray. There's nobody there except for Mom Piggy, who for some reason is at the police station. I don't know why, just go with it. Oh yeah, there's Doggy too, who's another police officer you've worked with extensively in the past. You and Doggy managed to find a deserted car inside the police station's garage, along with some fuel needed to get it up and running, and the both of you escape the police station and start heading towards the city to figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, you run out of fuel entering the city, and you and Doggy are forced to hide inside a nearby art gallery. And also, somehow Mom Piggy and Dad Piggy managed to follow you all the way here. Again, I don't know why. Just go with it. To be honest, nothing really happens here. This is chapter 3 of the game, and the only thing that really happens is you and Doggy have like a bro moment at the end of the chapter, and that's about it. Let's move on to chapter 4. After escaping the gallery and starting your much needed bromance with Doggy, the two of you take shelter in a nearby forest for 2 weeks. Look, I don't know how they survived in the middle of a forest for 2 whole weeks by themselves in the middle of a zombie piggy apocalypse, but they did. I guess Doggy watched a lot of Man vs. Wild or something. Anyway, some stranger shows up while you and Doggy are sleeping and tells Doggy to drink this potion. So Doggy decides it's probably a really good idea to drink a completely random vial of medicine from some completely random stranger in the middle of a deserted forest. And oh no, he's a zombie piggy now. Yeah, he's infected. F in the chat. Yep, no bromance for you guys. It's over. So you escape the forest and away from Doggy, who somehow has an axe now? Like, I have no idea where he pulled that out of. Anyway, you find a walkie-talkie on the ground, and some random guy tells you his best friend is held up inside a nearby school and needs your help. So you decide to help. You head into the nearby school and find it's also deserted, except for a teacher who's trying to smack you upside the head with a yardstick. At this point, you're not really sure if it's just a normal Monday for this teacher or if maybe she's infected. Either way, though, you avoid her and rescue walkie-talkie dude's best friend, who happens to be Bunny. You've probably heard of her. You and Bunny outrun the infected teacher and escape into the sewer system beneath the school. Why? I have no idea. But again, just go with it. And it's there that you find out the walkie-talkie dude is actually Mr. P. And then you pass out for some reason, and Mr. P and Bunny rush you to the nearby hospital where Mr. P works. We don't really know why you pass out or anything. Maybe you're just allergic to potatoes. Like, I don't know. Just go with it. Anyway, while you're passed out at the hospital, a bunch of infected break in and start attacking everyone, including Bunny. In order to try and save Bunny, Mr. P gives her the potion, the same one that Doggy took. And Mr. P decides it's probably a good idea to leave you and Bunny behind at the hospital, because that's just what friends do. So Mr. P flies off in his helicopter and leaves you and Bunny to die. Fantastic. Luckily, you wake up and tell Bunny you want some chicken. Bunny says there ain't no chicken here, and that while you were sleeping, a bunch of infected broke in, and now everyone in the hospital is dead. It's probably a good idea to leave. So you and Bunny make your way to the rooftop where a helicopter is. Oh yeah, Mr. P took it. So you and Bunny make your way down to the basement of the hospital where an entire subway system awaits you. Unfortunately, though, before the train arrives, Bunny starts turning into an infected because she drank the potion. Yep. F in the chat. Bunny doesn't make it. She decides to stay behind and fight off the infected that's chasing you guys. Before you get on the train, though, and leave her behind, you and the entire Piggy fandom give her a kiss on the cheek and vow to ship her with every single other character in the story in order to honor her memory. Then she dies. Or does she? She does, but she doesn't. Maybe? We don't know. Now all alone and by yourself, you decide to get off the train at Mr. P's theme park, which is where you think Mr. P might be and where he can give you some answers. You search the theme park for Mr. P, but unfortunately, you don't find him. He's long gone. You do, however, run into Zizzy, who happens to be a zebra, and also Pony, who happens to be a pony. They tell you to come back to the city with them where they have a safe house that's secure and empty of any infected man-eating piggies. You decide that's probably a good idea and follow them back to the city. Right before entering the safe house, though, you, Zizzy, and Pony decide it's probably a good idea to stand right outside the safe house and have a nice long conversation about your past. You tell them you're a police officer. Zizzy tells you she has a cool-looking sword, and Pony says, "My name is Jeff." But then, right before entering the safe house, you realize someone is watching you from a nearby dumpster. You and Zizzy decide to go check it out, since she's got a sword, of course. And Pony decides to go back into the safe house. I mean, well, he has a sword too, but his is, a lot less effective. Is like really less effective. It sucks. You and Zizzy then chase this mysterious person into a nearby shopping mall, which also happens to be empty except for the mall's security robot that for some reason has watched way too much of Will Smith's iRobot and now wants to destroy everything he sees. Oh yeah, did I mention he has a chainsaw? I mean, who gives a security robot a chainsaw? Anyway, you and Zizzy outrun Robbie the robot and find the mysterious dumpster diver in a nearby security room. Guess who it is? George the pig. Yep, George is alive, and he reveals he's been hiding out in this mall after running away from his house way back at the beginning of the story. He also tells you he ran into his grandma back in the city, but she was also acting weird, so he left her behind to hide here. Little does he know that back in chapter 9, you literally shot his grandma in the face. You and Zizzy take George back to the safe house where Pony is waiting, along with Zizzy's sisters, Z and Zuzi. Oh yeah, there's also two other characters in the back. There's Mimi the mole and that giraffe dude that lost his job when Toys R Us closed down. Man, it's been a rough year for that dude. Pony tells you that he's discovered a strange signal coming from nearby. Hoping that it's Mr. P and that you can finally finish this fight, you, Zizzy, and Pony decide to go investigate this mysterious signal. A few hours later, y'all arrive at a seemingly abandoned military compound. But wait, it's not actually abandoned because there's infected soldier piggies coming out of the ground, dude. Zizzy remembers she has a literal sword and starts cutting them down while you and Pony investigate the compound. Well, you investigate compound. Pony just kind of stands there and he doesn't really do anything unless you feed him a carrot.
My name is Jeff.
You discover secret military documents that says that anyone who gets attacked by an infected then also turns into an infected. You know, like zombie bites. You also find a weird sciencey looking silo thingy in the middle of the map and decide that that's probably where Mr. P is. But wait, here comes George Piggy, who snuck out of the safe house in order to follow you and get revenge for his family. Don't tell him that you shot his grandma in the face. Also, oh no, you're all surrounded by infected. Luckily, Zizzy has a sword and Pony, well, he has a sword. Cry out loud, dude. There's literally a tank right next to you. Get rid of the wooden sword and get the tank. Anyway, Zizzy and Pony decide to stay outside and fend off the infected while you and George chase down Mr. P. And before the cutscene ends, however, Pony is all like, Zizzy, there's something I must tell you. And Zizzy is all like, what's up, baby cakes? And Pony is all like,
My name is Jeff.
you and George head inside and find out that Mr. P has turned himself into Elon Musk. You and George are like, hey, stop right there. And Mr. P says, no, really, Mr. P has gone crazy. He starts talking about ghosts and tells you and George to stop haunting him and leave him alone. He then runs further inside the facility while you and George chase after him. Luckily for you, however, Mr. P runs right into the Chapter 12 intro cutscene where he gets really mad that you and George are chasing him and then activates his Mega Man arm cannon. He's then all like, and he starts firing at you with his giant arm cannon that seems to never run out of ammo. Like, he must have extra ammo stored somewhere. It's somewhere. While getting chased by Mr. P, you and George discover this place is actually a research facility made by Mr. P meant to further the progress of his potion. Except, well, everyone is dead. Except for this honey badger looking dude who has a lightsaber? Yeah, that's totally a lightsaber. Anyway, you and George decide it's probably a good idea to blow the place up with a giant stick of dynamite. Yeah, and then you're transported into a mind-warped version of the map. Oh my gosh, is that copyrighted music? Skip. So Mr. P is laying there on the ground. He's defeated. He's sad. He tells you and George that he's lost everyone he cares about and that he was just trying to save his wife. He says he's a failure. He says he wants to stay behind to cover you and George's escape so that he can redeem himself and do something good. But then George is all like, liar! He goes to finish off Mr. P, but then you're all like, it's not the Jedi way. So George doesn't turn Mr. P into mashed potatoes and decides it's probably a good idea to just leave. So you and George leave to find Zizzy and Pony finishing off the last of the infected outside. You tell everyone what happened with Mr. P, and George suggests that the group should start looking for a cure. And that's it. That's Piggy Chapter 1.
Alright, no. I almost forgot. I'm glad I planned it.